Now, but as we bring in our Bulls and Bears, Jonas Max Harris, obviously a very tough time for Starbucks. Disney looking decent. In fact, we see that the parks and resorts were moving higher, up about 5% there.
Yeah, we'll talk about Starbucks first because I'm a shareholder. And apparently the logo change did not save the company last quarter. I think
the naked woman with the nipples and everything?
Yeah. I would say the revenue thing.
Well, that's what was new. They already had the bare breasts. They just didn't have the nipples. Then they put the nipples on. It's a technical term, ladies and gentlemen.
I would say the revenue thing was largely a currency situation, but the earnings thing is a disappointment. I was hoping that company was going to come back and everyone was overselling that one. Apparently not. Getting to, I'm actually more surprised by the theme parks at Disney not doing badly because Disney's expensive. It's not like a real low-end place to go where you're like, oh, we'll step down to Disney, like going down to McDonald's from Applebee's or whatever.
5% year over year.
And
Peter?
Well, my guess would be a lot of that revenue probably came from tourists. And to them, it's a lot cheaper to fly over here rather than go to Euro Disney or something like that. Not so much with Starbucks. People are trying to cut back anywhere they can. We don't have the numbers out of Visa yet. But if Visa's numbers don't disappoint, eventually they're going to be. Because probably a lot of Americans who did go to Disney charged it on their Visa. And you know what? A lot of people are using their credit cards now. They have no money. They have no home equity. And it gives a lot of revenues.
Okay.
But they're not going to be able to pay
it back. Toby, the fact is not only Europeans coming here, but their operations overseas provide a lot of euros, which are worth a lot of dollars these days.
Well, look at it. I mean, when you could go to Disneyland,
we're talking about Disney right now. Go ahead.
Disneyland is not inexpensive, but when you can pay for it with a 50-cent dollar, I mean, it's amazing. When you're down at Disneyland, I swear you think you're in London because everyone talks like this exactly. It's tremendous.
But,
the other side of it is... Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in and just mention this one thing about Disney. Disney has done a ton of marketing and has really, really been promoting itself as a place to be this summer. So I think that's really helped. I mean, internationally as well as domestically. And so I think that's really been a big key for them. And they've also been doing a lot of promotions to do that, discounts.
And they have Hannah Montana, Gary Kay. Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, but you got to realize, as you said, Disney is not just the theme parks, even though the theme parks have been doing great. It's ESPN, it's everything else they own. And they've just been firing on all cylinders. They've literally not missed a beat over the last year. And I got to tell you, as far as Starbucks, whenever you see companies shuttering stores like they are, not good news for stock. And I just completely stay away from it. I think the stock is going lower.
What do you think about the shakeup that they've had, that major management shakeup, in addition to closing down the stores? Are you going to hold on to the stock?
I am. The management shakeup to me is just a give me to Wall Street. I look at the store closings as more important, and I do think they overexpanded. They were kind of just basing growth forever, and I'm more concerned it's not trendy to have coffee anymore than a short-term issue where people can't afford it. That'll go away. The stock will come back. If we see a movement away from coffee as something you want 4 or 5 times a day, a $5 coffee, that's a dangerous permanent situation for Starbucks. I don't see that happening. I would sell the stock, though.
Well, Jonas, the government should regulate it. Shouldn't we pass a law that says you can't have 4 coffees a day?
Easy now, Mr. Libertarian.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, a company that sells a $5 mochaccino, if you get the big size, is obviously suffering today.
Expensive coffee is an easy place to cut back. Americans are brown bagging their lunches now. They're not even going to restaurants. They're doing all sorts of things to save money, and Starbucks is a place they can go. And they've got stores, in some areas there's Starbucks within a few blocks of each other.
Well, Jennifer, as Jonas is about to have a conniption fit here with what Peter just said, it is true, you track this very closely, it is true that people are cutting back on the expensive items, the expendable expensive items like a $4 cup of coffee.
There is, but there are those affordable luxuries that they're going to take along the way, and Starbucks might represent one of those. I think that's what's happened with Starbucks is, the cannibalization of the stores. They freely admit that that's a problem.
Hold on a second. We got Prudential. Sandra, we got the Prudential.